The grand hall of the Galactic Council was alive with voices. Thousands of alien delegates sat in their shining seats looking down on the central podium. It was rare for the council to be this full, and that alone made the silence that followed feel heavy. At the center stood Ambassador Zeltar of the Vakrians, a tall, insect-like being with shimmering plates of blue and green. His two large black eyes blinked nervously as he addressed the council. "You do not understand what you risk," Zeltar said, his translator projecting the words across the chamber. "The humans are not like the rest of us. If you strike them, they will not forgive. They will not negotiate. They will not stop." The delegates exchanged amused glances. Many laughed softly, a sound like rustling wind. To them, humanity was still a young race, loud, unpredictable, but harmless. A counselor from the Agari species rose from her seat. "Ambassador, surely you exaggerate. Humans are a minor power. They have only a handful of colonies. What can they do against the combined fleets of the Council?" Zeltar's antennae drooped. "I do not exaggerate," he replied. "I speak from experience. My people once fought them. We raided one of their outposts for resources. We thought they would send envoys or pay tribute to avoid war. Instead, they came for us. They burned through 3 of our fleets. They did not stop until we surrendered and returned everything we had taken. Even now, many of my worlds bear the scars of that war." The laughter died down a little, but most of the council remained unconvinced. Another voice spoke, deep and cold. "Then your people were weak. Perhaps it is good that you were taught a lesson." Zeltar stiffened. "You do not understand," he said again, louder now. "The humans will fight to the end. If you kill their people, they will not rest until every one of yours is dead. They will cross any distance, pay any cost, just to see you fall. If you value your worlds, leave them alone." The council chamber buzzed with chatter. Some found his words dramatic, others insulting. At last, the high speaker of the council stood. His long silver robe shimmered under the lights as he addressed everyone present. "The matter is decided," he said. "The humans have violated trade agreements and refused council taxes. A message must be sent. We will authorize a limited strike. Destroy one of their colonies as punishment. They will learn to obey." Zeltar's voice rose in panic. "You are making a mistake." But his warning was drowned out by the council's approval votes. The decision was final. Far across the stars, on the quiet human colony of New Horizon, people went about their daily lives. Children played under the twin suns, farmers worked the fields, engineers repaired mining equipment. No one expected trouble. That night, without warning, the sky lit up with fire. Coalition warships appeared in orbit, their weapons already charged. The first strike turned the colony's defense grid into molten slag. The second leveled the capital city. There were no demands, no warnings, no chance to surrender. Within hours, New Horizon was silent, a dead world. The last surviving communication from the planet was a short, desperate message broadcast into deep space. "This is New Horizon. We are under attack. No warning, no chance. Please." The transmission ended in static. On Earth, the message arrived at the Unified Human Command Center. The room fell into stunned silence as the transmission was replayed again and again. The faces of the council members on the screen, children crying, cities burning, were burned into everyone's memory. Admiral Sarah Keene stood, her hands gripping the table so tightly that her knuckles turned white. "Who did this?" she asked quietly. "We don't know yet," said an intelligence officer, "but we are tracing the energy signatures. We will find them." "Good," Keene said, her voice like steel. "Because when we do, we're going to make sure this never happens again." Within hours, orders were sent across human space. Every ship capable of travel was recalled. Every reserve fleet was activated. Scientists were called to improve FTL drives and weapons. The message spread across human colonies. We are at war. Weeks later, in a distant sector, a coalition scout ship drifted silently near a small star. Its crew had been sent to observe human movements and report back. So far, they had seen nothing unusual. "Maybe the council was right," said one of the crew lazily. "Humans are just a noisy race. They will make angry speeches and then forget." Before anyone could reply, alarms blared. Unknown ships appeared from hyperspace, fast, small, and armed. The human vessels struck with precision, disabling engines before the coalition ship could escape. The scout captain sent a distress call, but it was cut off halfway through. "They're coming," Faster than we... Signal lost. The ship was never heard from again. The first coalition losses were dismissed as bad luck. Pirates, malfunctions, even natural disasters. Anything but what they really were. The Galactic Council wanted to believe the humans would stay quiet, but then the disappearances became impossible to ignore. In one sector, 3 outposts went silent within the same week. In another, a fleet of supply ships was found drifting. Every crew member gone, every computer wiped. The only clue was a single message burned into the hull of the lead ship in English. Justice begins. The council chamber filled with shouting. "This is outrageous," cried the Agari counselor. "The humans dare attack council fleets? They must be punished." "They have already been punished," Zeltar said bitterly. "That is why they are coming for you now." The high speaker slammed his staff against the floor. "We will crush them before they can grow bolder. Assemble the Grand Fleet. Humanity's hunt begins far away. The unified human fleet gathered at Titan Station, a massive base orbiting Saturn. Thousands of ships formed up. Warships, carriers, science vessels, even refitted civilian freighters. Admiral Sarah Keene stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute. Around her, holomaps displayed coalition territory. "They think we will attack them head-on," she said. "They think we will come screaming for revenge. They are wrong," she turned to her officers. "We will be patient. We will be smart. We will break them piece by piece until they beg for this to end." And so began a campaign unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Human strike teams moved fast and quiet. They hacked into coalition communications, stealing codes and maps. They ambushed patrols, captured prisoners, and interrogated them for information. They never attacked civilian targets, only military ones, but each strike was precise, devastating, and terrifying. Fear spreads on a distant moon. A coalition commander watched helplessly as human forces descended from orbit. They disabled his base's power grid with a single EMP strike, then stormed the facility without firing a shot. His soldiers surrendered, and the humans took every piece of data before leaving the base intact. "Why didn't they destroy us?" one of his lieutenants asked. The commander shivered. "Because they want us to live long enough to tell everyone else what happened." Soon, stories of the human ghosts spread through the galaxy. "They appear from nowhere," whispered a merchant captain in a crowded bar. "They strike fast and vanish before reinforcements arrive," and added another. "They are everywhere," said a frightened soldier. "And they never stop coming." The council responds. The Galactic Council could no longer ignore the threat. Fleets were sent to defend the borders. New weapons were rushed into production. The council even offered peace talks, but humanity sent back a short, cold message. "We will speak when justice is complete." The coalition decided to launch a trap. They positioned a large fleet near a remote star system, leaving an easy target, a supply station, unguarded. The hope was that humans would attack, and then the hidden fleet would surround and destroy them. The trap Admiral Keene studied the reports. The station looked like a perfect target. "Too perfect, it's a trap," she said calmly. "But that's fine. We will spring it, on our terms." The human fleet jumped into the system, but instead of attacking the station directly, they split into small groups. Some attacked the bait station while others flanked the hidden fleet from 3 different directions. When the coalition sprung their trap, they found themselves under attack from every angle. Human ships fought with impossible precision, disabling engines and communication relays first so no one could escape or call for help. The battle was short and brutal. The coalition's grand ambush fleet was left crippled, floating helplessly in space. The humans broadcast a single message to the survivors before leaving. "You started this. We will finish it. The galaxy trembles." The defeat shocked the galaxy. Never before had the Council's fleet been humiliated so completely. The message was clear. Humanity was not just fighting back, they were winning. More worlds near human space began evacuating outposts, fearing they might be next. Trade routes were abandoned. Fear gripped entire sectors. Zeltar sat alone in his quarters watching the latest reports. He remembered the war with his own people years ago. Back then, he had thought humans were simply lucky, too stubborn to die. Now he understood. "They will not stop," he whispered to himself. "Not until this is over." Humanity's next step back on Earth, the War Council gathered again. The captured data from the battle had revealed something new. The exact identity of the council members who had authorized the first strike on New Horizon. Admiral Keen looked around the table. Now we know who is responsible. No more warnings. No more small strikes. We go for the heart of their power. The human fleet began preparations for the largest jump in history. A direct strike into the very heart of the Council's capital system. Cliffhanger at the Galactic Council. Panic spread. They will come here, shouted one counselor. We must surrender, cried another. We must fight, roared a third. The high speaker looked out at the council chamber, his voice trembling for the first time. We may have made a mistake, he admitted. Prepare every ship we have. If the humans come, this will be the last battle. Far away, the human fleet finished loading their weapons and supplies. The stars stretched and blurred as the Resolute and our fleet jumped into hyperspace. The hunt was nearly over. The Galactic Council's capital system had never been attacked in its long history. It was surrounded by defensive satellites, fortress stations, and fleets from every member species. To most, it seemed untouchable, a symbol of order and safety. But on this day, the system was filled with fear. Sensors detected the human fleet before it even exited hyperspace. Thousands of ships, warships, carriers, troop transports, and drones appeared like a storm. They came in perfect formation, their engines glowing bright against the void. Every ship broadcast the same message. This is the unified human fleet. We come for justice. Stand down or be destroyed. The final stand, the Council's Grand Defense Fleet moved to intercept. More than 10,000 coalition ships formed a wall of firepower. Inside the council chamber, leaders watched the battle screens. Some still hoped humans might turn back. Others whispered prayers to their gods. Ambassador Zeltar sat silently, his antennae folded tight. He had warned them again and again. Now there was nothing left to say. The battle begins in orbit. The first shots were fired. The coalition unleashed a storm of plasma and missiles, turning space into a deadly web of fire. But the humans did not slow down. Admiral Sarah Keen stood on the bridge of Resolute, her face calm and focused. Target their command ships first, she ordered. Cut off their coordination. Human ships darted forward faster and more agile than their enemies expected. Precision strikes destroyed communication hubs, leaving parts of the coalition fleet blind and confused. Then came the drones, thousands of small, fast machines swarming like a metal storm. They bypassed the main battle line, tearing through shield generators and weapons platforms. One by one, the Council's fortress stations went dark. Fear on the Council floor reports flooded the Council chamber. Our fleets are breaking apart, shouted one officer. We are losing control of the defense grid, cried another. The high speaker gripped the edge of the table. Send a message to the humans. Offer them a ceasefire. A transmission was sent. On the human flagship, the message played. Humans of Earth, the high speaker said. We are ready to talk. We can end this war if you withdraw. Admiral Keen listened, her jaw tight. Then she spoke calmly. You ended talks when you destroyed New Horizons, she said. We will speak when the Council surrenders, unconditionally. Her words were broadcast across the system. The Council chamber fell silent. Humanity advances, hours passed. The battle raged on, but the result became clear. Human ships pushed closer and closer to the capital world. Coalition fleets were shattered, forced to retreat or be destroyed. On the planet below, civilians fled to shelters as explosions lit up the sky. Finally, the last of the coalition's orbital defenses fell. The human fleet took up position over the capital city, their weapons locked on the council tower. Admiral Keen sent one final message. This ends now. Those responsible for the attack on New Horizon will face trial. Hand them over or we will come for them ourselves. The council breaks. The chamber was filled with shouting and panic. Some counselors wanted to keep fighting, but most had lost the will to resist. We cannot stop them, one said. If we do not surrender, they will destroy us, said another. At last, the high speaker stood and lowered his head. We surrender, he said quietly. We will hand over those responsible. Ambassador Zeltar watched, feeling no joy. Perhaps now you understand, he said softly. Humans are not like us. They do not start wars lightly. But when they fight until the end. Justice in the days that followed. The individuals who had ordered the destruction of New Horizon were arrested. They were tried before a neutral tribunal, with human representatives present. Evidence was shown, recordings, transmissions, witness accounts, and the council was forced to face what they had done. The guilty were sentenced according to Galactic law. For the first time in history, the council was held accountable by an outside power. Aftermath: when justice was complete, Admiral Keen called a final meeting. "We will not stay to rule," she said. "We will not conquer. We will return to our space." Some coalition worlds were surprised. They had expected the humans to take planets or demand tribute. Instead, the humans simply left, their fleets withdrawing as quickly as they had come. But before leaving, humanity sent one last message to every star system. "Let this be a warning. We are not your enemies unless you make us so. Never again harm our people. If you do, we will come back." A new law. Years later, young cadets in alien academies studied the war as a lesson. The phrase was taught in every class, whispered in every bar, and etched into every war council's mind. "Do not attack the humans. They will hunt you forever." Seltar retired from politics, his final speech remembered across the galaxy. "Peace is not kept by strength alone," he said. "But if you threaten a human's home, they will cross the stars to make sure it never happens again." And so the galaxy changed. The council was quieter, more careful, because everyone remembered the fire that came from Earth.